I was drowning in debt, and my family refused to help, wishing me luck instead. Years later, after I became successful, they came asking for money to pay for Karen's wedding. Hello Reddit I plus here. So, picture this. I'm in my mid-20s, fresh out of college, thinking I'm about to conquer the world. I had big dreams, but life? Life had bigger bills. You know how they say student loans are a good kind of debt? Yeah, that's a lie. Between my loans, credit cards, and just trying to survive, I was drowning. Not like a cute little doggy paddle drowning. No, this was full-on Titanic style, grasping at anything that floated. I remember one night staring at my laptop, looking at my bank account balance. $42.67, and just breaking down. Rent was overdue, my utilities were threatening to shut off, and my car was on its last legs. Oh, and the cherry on top? My boss at the time decided I wasn't pulling my weight and cut my hours. Perfect, right? So I did what anyone in my position would do. I swallowed my pride and called my family. Now don't get me wrong, I wasn't asking for a handout. I had a plan. I had spreadsheets, timelines, everything. I just needed a little push to keep me from going under. I called my mom first, thinking she'd understand. She listened quietly, and then there was this awkward pause before she said, "You know, sweetie, everyone's struggling these days, but I'll pray for you." Pray for me? Lady, I needed dollars, not divine intervention. Next up, my sister Karen. Karen, who never worked a full-time job in her life because she found herself every other year in Bali or Tulum. I thought maybe she'd pitch in. After all, I babysat her dog for a whole month while she was off finding her center. But nope. She hit me with the classic, "Ugh, that sucks. But you'll figure it out. You're the resourceful one in the family, remember?" Oh, I was resourceful, all right. You'd be surprised how creative you get when you're eating ramen every night and rationing gas like it's the apocalypse. The final straw was my dad. My dad's a straight shooter, no-nonsense kind of guy. So I thought, he'll help. He's gotta help. Wrong. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Sometimes, life's about learning to stand on your own 2 feet. This is one of those times." Then he handed me $20, patted me on the shoulder and said, "Good luck, kid." Like I was going to Vegas, not financial ruin. So, what did I do? I buckled down. I worked 3 jobs. One during the day, one at night. And on weekends, I freelanced doing graphic design. I didn't sleep much, I didn't go out, and I sure as hell didn't call my family again. I just worked. Slowly but surely, I started to climb out of that hole. It took years. Years of saying no to myself so I could say yes to my future. Fast forward about 8 years. By then, I had my own business, a house, and a decent car that didn't rattle when I turned left. I was doing well, better than I ever imagined. I wasn't just afloat, I was cruising. Life was good. Then one day, I get a call from Karen. I hadn't heard from her in ages, so I figured it must be important. I pick up, and she starts with small talk, all syrupy sweet, like, "How's my favorite sibling doing?" My favorite sibling? Since when? But I play along, and eventually she gets to the point. "So, I'm getting married." I congratulated her, of course, and then she hit me with it. "We're a little short on the wedding budget, and I was hoping you could help out." Oh, I almost choked on my coffee. I asked, "How short are we talking?" And this woman, this same woman who couldn't spare $50 when I was eating canned beans, says, "About $15,000. $15,000. I let her ramble for a bit about how her dream venue had a cancellation and how she and Brad just had to have a live band and a champagne wall. I was quiet, just letting her dig that hole. When she finally stopped to breathe, I said, "Wow, Karen, that really sucks. But you're the resourceful one in the family, remember?" Dead silence. Then I added, "Oh, and tell Mom I'll be praying for you." She hung up on me. A few days later, my mom called, trying to guilt-trip me. "Karen's really upset, you know. She's your sister. Family helps family." And I just laughed. I couldn't help it. I said, "Family helps family? Like how you all helped me back then?" She didn't have much to say after that. Look, I'm not bitter. Okay, maybe a little. But it's not about the money. It's about the principle. When I needed them most, they left me out to dry. So now, I choose where my money and my energy go. And guess what? It's not going toward a champagne wall. Anyway, after that call with my mom, word spread through the family like wildfire. Suddenly, I was public enemy number 1. Apparently I was selfish, ungrateful, and my personal favorite, Too big for my britches now that I'm successful. Karen even posted a cryptic Facebook status about some people forgetting where they came from, with a not-so-subtle winking emoji. Classic Karen move. But here's the thing, I didn't forget where I came from. That's exactly why I said no. I remember all too well what it felt like to be left hanging, to struggle alone, to cry in my car because I didn't know how I was going to make it through the month. And I promised myself that if I ever got out of that mess, I'd never let anyone take advantage of me again, even family. It didn't stop there, though. Karen got creative. A week later, she showed up at my house unannounced, which was already bold considering we weren't exactly on great terms. She brought cupcakes, all smiles, acting like nothing had happened. I thought, okay, maybe she's here to apologize. Nope. She sat down, gave me this whole spiel about how it's not just about the wedding, it's about the memories, and how it would mean so much to the family if everyone could come together and make her day perfect. Then she hit me with the ultimate guilt bomb. You know, Dad's been so proud of you lately. It would really make him happy if you helped out. Oh, she played the dad card. That one stung a little. I mean, yeah, Dad and I had our differences, but I always wanted him to be proud of me. For a split second, I almost caved, but then I remembered. Where was all this family unity talk when I was eating ramen 5 nights a week? Where was Karen when I was selling my stuff on Craigslist just to pay rent? So I told her, calmly but firmly, that I wasn't going to contribute. I even offered her some practical advice, like scaling back the wedding budget or maybe cutting out that champagne wall. But she didn't want practical. She wanted my money. And when she realized I wasn't budging, she flipped. She went from sweet sister to full Karen mode in about 5 seconds. Suddenly, I was selfish, unfair, and ruining her special day. She even accused me of holding a grudge and punishing the family for the past. At that point, I'd had enough. I stood up, walked to the door, and said, "Karen, I love you, but if you're going to keep this up, you can leave." She stormed out, of course, but not before yelling, "Don't expect an invite to the wedding." Spoiler alert. I didn't get one. Honestly, best outcome ever. No awkward small talk, no fake smiles, no pretending I care about Brad's speech about finding his soulmate. I stayed home, drank some really good wine, and binged Netflix. 10 out of 10, no regrets. But here's the kicker. A few months after the wedding, Karen called me again. Not to apologize, mind you, but to ask for another favor. Apparently, the wedding put them in debt. Big surprise, right? She wanted a loan to get back on track, promising she'd pay me back as soon as possible. I laughed. I couldn't help it. It was one of those deep, from-the-gut laughs that just escapes you. When I finally caught my breath, I said, "Karen, I think you've got me confused with a bank. I don't do loans. But good luck. You're the resourceful one, remember?" She hung up on me again. Look, I get it. Family dynamics are messy, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, far from it. But I worked my ass off to get where I am. Nobody handed me anything. So if saying no makes me the villain in their story, so be it. I'd rather be the villain with my financial sanity intact than the hero who bankrolls bad decisions. Besides, if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. The people who disappear when you're at your lowest don't get to demand a front row seat when you're at your highest. And honestly, life's been a lot quieter without all that noise.